supplements, those little all-natural pills that people take because someone on television or some health guru told them that it was better than actually eating healthy food. A strange little industry they have in America. They're one of the few food products that can blatantly lie to your face and tell you whatever they want about their product, and they can do it. Seriously, they can promise you the moon or that you'll magically lose weight without any effort. Anything they can claim. With claims like this, you can understand why nutritional supplements in the US are almost a $159 billion a year industry as of 2023. This information comes from the Council for Responsible Nutrition in Washington, D.C. Here are some of the most common supplements used in the U.S. according to Penn State University. More than 1/3 of Americans take supplements. Multivitamins or mineral supplements make 40% of all vitamin sales. The most common supplement contains fish oil, omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids. About 30% of adults aged 65 or older take 4 or more supplements of any kind. It's clear that a lot of Americans are willing to fork over a lot of money for them, for what they supposedly, upwards of 77% of U.S. adults take some form of supplement. With such outlandish claims, you might wonder if they're capable of living up to them. Well, as it turns out, there's little to no evidence that there are any benefits from taking supplements. An investigation of their claims was undertaken by Northwestern University, which showed just that. Northwestern medicine scientists say for non-pregnant, otherwise healthy Americans, vitamins are a waste of money because there isn't enough evidence that they help prevent cardiovascular disease or cancers. They're wasting money and focused thinking there has to be a magic set of pills that will keep them healthy when we should all just be following the evidence-based practices of eating healthy and exercising, says Dr. Jeffrey Linder, chief of the General Internal Medicine in the Department of Medicine at Northwestern University Feinberg School of Medicine. Based on a systematic review of 84 studies, the USPSTF's new guidelines state that there are insufficient evidence that taking multivitamins paired with supplements or single supplements can help prevent cardiovascular disease and cancer in otherwise healthy, non-pregnant adults. The task force is not saying don't take vitamins. But there's this idea that if these were really good for you, we would have known it by now. Having said that, they say that individuals who have some form of vitamin deficiency, such as calcium and vitamin D, should still take supplements because they promote good health and have been shown to help older adults who tend to have serious falls. Women trying to become pregnant or are pregnant will benefit from supplements. Vitamins such as folic acid are tremendously important to support healthy fetal development. But make no mistake, plenty of innocent people have died because of supplements and the fact that they are not properly regulated. Florida State linebacker Devon Darling died of a heart attack, and Minnesota Vikings offensive lineman Corey Stringer died of heat stroke. Both men died after taking a product from a health food store called Ripped Fuel, also known as ephedra. It was also sold at convenience stores and promoted to long-haul truck drivers. It was claimed that the product was not related to their deaths. Then Baltimore Orioles pitcher Steve Belcher, at 23 years old, died in 2002. The investigation into his death by a medical examiner revealed that the supplement was the cause of his heart attack. Baltimore Orioles physician William Goldiner said, was far and away the catalyst for pushing this forward. And the real reason Steve's death was such a catalyst was because of Dr. Perper. The difference between Steve's case and the others is that you had a medical examiner with the courage to speak up. As a result of the incident, the product Ripped Fuel was banned by the Bush administration. The deaths, however, continued. On September 9, 2013, the Hawaii Department of Health was notified of 7 patients with severe acute hepatitis and fulminant liver failure and of an unknown etiology. Patients were in previously good health and sought out medical care during May-September 2013. Clinicians reported that the 7 patients had used Oxyelite Pro, a dietary supplement marketed for weight loss and muscle gain, before the illness onset. The HDOH with the CDC and the Food and Drug Administration initiated a public health investigation, including patient interviews, medical chart reviews, and a collection of supplement samples for analysis. Subsequently, a case was defined as acute hepatitis of unknown etiology occurring on or after April 1st, 2013, in a person who had consumed weight loss or muscle-building dietary supplements within the previous 60 days and had a serum alanine aminotransferase level greater than equal to 4 times the upper normal limit, and a total bilirubin level greater than or equal to 2 times the upper limit of normal, and a negative evaluation for infections, including viral hepatitis. Excluded were other etiologies such as pre-existing autoimmune hepatitis, chronic alcohol use, and chronic liver disease, as well as his primary biliary cirrhosis, primary sclerosis cholangitis, Williams disease, and hemochromatosis. These unfortunate deaths are just scratching the surface of this who's been affected by the horrid, dishonest supplement industry. And dishonest they are. The real danger comes from proprietary blends. What are proprietary blends? Well, basically, it's the label for an ingredient mixture developed by a company. They don't list the actual amounts of individual dietary ingredients, but does display their quantitative amount. So an amount of something in the ingredient may only be a trace amount, but the consumer would be none the wiser. However, another benefit for disreputable manufacturers is that they can hide cheap fillers and ingredients that the consumers may want to avoid. If an individual is allergic to seafood but wishes to take a collagen supplement, there's no requirement that the supplement's label disclose the source of collagen, which could be seafood. Mixtures of undisclosed substances along with the inclusion of active pharmaceutical ingredients, unapproved drugs, heavy metals, and bacterial or mold contamination can still lead to adverse health effects in unsuspecting consumers. Really, it's just a way of lying to you about the ingredients in the product. Another awful aspect of proprietary blends is that it makes the product sound of it somehow scientifically specialized formula, buzzword, key ingredient, synergistic, secret, patented formula. In actuality, it's just a misleading word being passed off as some kind of advancement in nutritional science. The marketing goes to considerable effort to use special terms and industry terminology to make the product sound more impressive than it actually is. Now, imagine that, the profit motive leading to people to being dishonest and deceptive in marketing. No amount of claiming that they're just some kind of special blend designed to work with each other will change the fact that it's just an underhanded way of labeling a product. So how do supplement manufacturers get away with this? Well, the funny part is that there's no regulation over what they can claim. The Food and Drug Administration has absolutely no jurisdiction over any of the claims they make or how safe the product is. Supplement manufacturers can outright lie to your face with zero consequences. The Food and Drug Administration does not determine whether dietary supplements are effective before they are marketed, basically because they have no authority to. While the FDA is a food and drug regulatory body, the laws are quite different when it comes to supplements. The decision was made that since they're not medicines and are not intended to treat, diagnose, mitigate, prevent, or cure diseases. What's important is that while the FDA has some authority, it does not have quite enough. The manufacturers themselves are responsible for providing any evidence that the product has any benefit or does what they say it will. The FDA doesn't regulate as to whether or not the advertising of the product is truthful. The only time the federal government can step in and take legal action against a company or website that sells dietary supplements is when it's claimed to be a treatment or a cure for a disease, or if the products are unsafe and end up killing somebody. The damage caused by these unsafe only after people have been harmed. They have no authority to check beforehand. They can inspect a facility to determine whether safety protocols are being enforced, but not the safety of the product itself. The big question is, why doesn't the FDA have authority here? Well, at one time, they tried to protect consumers from supplement companies. In the 80s and 90s, several pieces of legislation were drafted to expand the FDA's power to regulate supplements. One of those pieces of regulation was pretty good. It was called the Nutritional Advertising Coordination Act of 1991. Unfortunately, that act and its potential power was destroyed. Supplement companies, mainly Herbalife, spent a massive amount of money making sure that the act never got passed. Not only did they buy off politicians in the form of lobbying, they also deliberately spread misinformation to the public. Notably, they claimed that the act was intended to ban all supplements from the market, which is pretty typical misleading propaganda campaign that would go on to be used for just about everything in less than a decade. Hilariously, it featured a video starring Mel Gibson where he plays himself getting raided by federal authorities for taking vitamin C supplements.
Guys, it's only vitamins.
Vitamin C, you know, like in oranges.
If you don't want to lose your vitamins, make the FDA stop. Call the U.S. Senate and tell them that you want to take your vitamins in peace. If enough of us do that, it'll work.
As you can see, this kind of dishonest, overdramatic propaganda playing to the ignorance and fear-mongering is nothing new and continues to this day.
But we are doing everything we can to let the people leave and, with amazing efforts. But I think also that this is precision weapons. So, in fact, if you want to avoid civilian casualties, you need these weapons rather than imprecise weaponry.
Gerald Kessler, the chief executive of Nature Plus, a dietary supplement manufacturer and one of the leaders of the lobbying efforts, accused the FDA of having a bias against supplement industry for 50 years. What proceeded from there was the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994, or DSHEA. When written by Senator Orrin Hatch, a Republican from Utah, and Tom Harkin, a Democrat from Iowa, guess who the major contributor to their political careers was? Right, Herbalife and the multi-level marketing company Zango. Well, back in the day, we called it a pyramid scheme, but that's not politically correct anymore. This way, a supplement can lie, claiming that they help fight a certain disease or condition, but aren't breaking any law because they never said they were curing it. The FDA is not authorized to approve dietary supplements for safety and effectiveness. Despite this, the supplement industry still claimed this was unfair to them. The act was approved of and signed into law by then President Bill Clinton. Several years later, another attempt was made to regulate supplements by Arizona Republican Senator John McCain. He introduced the Dietary Supplement Safety Act of 2010, but his efforts were quashed by Hatch and Harkin once again using money from Herbalife. The situation with supplements proceeded to get worse until the marketing of an industrial Galator as an antioxidant supplement for the treatment of autism was sold. Eventually, you can't know the full ratio of ingredients. You have a supplement scientifically tested because capitalism didn't want you to know about it, and your health and safety would undermine the profit motive. Now, this, frankly, is quite dangerous. Supplements are being hawked at consumers from all angles with misleading information and claims that don't have to be backed up. Frequently, disreputable celebrities and personalities are selling you these supplements and using fear as a marketing tactic. On the lighter side, InfoWars host Alex Jones scares his audience on a daily basis with plots by the government to take away their guns and establish a new world order. I'm sure that is coming any day now. He bombards his audience with coming near apocalyptic scenarios. He tells you how there's a plot by some group or another to emasculate men by putting substances in their food and water, and then transitions to an ad for a supplement that claims to combat those effects. On the more serious side are people like Gwyneth Paltrow, who offer a line of products to enhance your life with nothing to show that they do. The entire power of the product comes from the name recognition of the celebrity herself. On TikTok, there's a near unlimited supply of health gurus that tell you about how this thing in your food is bad and then try to scare you into buying their overpriced nonsense. In others, they pander to emotional suffering that can happen as a result of obesity, a major problem in the United States. Over 70 million adults in the U.S. are obese. 99 million are overweight, preying on people with deteriorating physical and mental health as they offer you a quick fix solution to a problem that requires a lot of effort and lifestyle changes. Take it from me, a person who has managed to lose over 100 pounds. There is no quick fix. Eat properly and exercise. That's all there is. It sucks. It's hard. It's emotionally painful, but it's worth it. Basically, there's no limit to what capitalism will do in order to make money off of you. That's the very basis of the profit motive. That's why regulation in industries like this even exists, because it's a tremendous problem. They have to regulate the very thing it is that's causing the problem rather than just get rid of the thing that's causing the problem. So it never ceases to amaze me, the blinders that people have to put on in order to just not notice that capitalism itself is actually the problem. Now, much of these supplements are being pushed by people who claim that Big Pharma is out to get you. Well, I hate to shatter your worldview, but Big Pharma doesn't really know who you are. They don't know you. They've never seen you, etc. When they put something out, yes, it's not perfect and things can go wrong. But somehow in the minds of these people, something that is very highly professional, done by actual scientists, educated people, is tested extensively before it gets put out and is regulated to a high degree, is somehow less safe than something someone just slaps a label on and says, it's good for you, because it's not from the pharmaceutical industry and it's quote unquote natural, even though the whole thing was made in a completely unnatural way, and saying that there's no chemicals in it when everything actually is chemicals, because these people really have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, or they're tremendous liars. Now, there has been a massive explosion in the amount of people taking supplements. Now, this occurred, frankly, as a result of COVID, because now everybody was concerned about their health, because there was this actually technically still is, this very deadly, very dangerous virus that's going around and, killing people. So now, obviously, people then all of a sudden become really, really concerned about their health because of the neurodegenerative issues, cognitive fog, all kinds of things like that. So people start taking their health just a little bit more seriously. So that really explains the growth, or the huge acceleration in the use of these kinds of products. Now, let's be perfectly honest. These companies are completely disreputable. They're preying off your fears, and they're using, they're essentially taking advantage of your psychological state and offering you quick, easy answers to things that require hard work and dedication. And when something is hard enough, as losing weight is, and I know because I've done it, you offer somebody a cheap, simple solution, and sometimes it's not cheap at all. It's actually more expensive than just eating regular food that is perfectly fine. They're psychologically manipulating you. They're taking advantage of, the tendency to not want to engage in, horrible stuff. So they're really being dishonest, and they're really manipulating you, all for the sake of lining their own pocket. I mean, if this wasn't really enough to tell you that all food and, medications or pseudo medications like this really should all fall under the jurisdiction of the Food and Drug Administration, nothing else really would. So the next time you see somebody hawking health products, ask them if their claim has been evaluated by the FDA. 99 out of 100 times, the answer is going to be no. And there's a reason for that. Probably because it can't do it. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.